So because what I'm hearing, what got you through it was that, you just held on to that image of hope every time, you said, okay, it was first, okay, the letters, and then, well, your appeal, and then that didn't happen, but it was then the letter after the letter. And, you kept holding on and coming up with also these ideas, right? To hold on to that this could be an option, that could be an option. I mean, that is a human survival skill. I think that that's what gets people through life, right? Is that constant ability to, you know, to follow the breadcrumbs of hope. And you were able to do that. Whether it's survival in prison or just survival in life, it's a life skill. What do you think gave you the ability to do that, where maybe other prisoners wrongly convicted don't have that ability to follow the breadcrumbs?
When you put it like that, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess just by fighting spirit. I mean, just not giving up, not being willing to, like you said, let go of that. Just I wasn't willing to let go of those breadcrumbs of hope, because if you let go of that, what else do you have? But I want to point out that while what we've just said is the bottom line, I just would like to add a little bit more color to that. I mean, so another aspect or mixed in with that,
Mm.
definitely belief in God was one thing. Another thing was that I used to go to the law library and learn the law, and that helped me. That felt like empowering. I used to read articles about other
Mhm.
people who were in the same position I was that had been exonerated, and that gave me inspiration to keep going. Another aspect of it was
Mhm.
there was another prisoner there named Frank Sterling, who was also wrongfully imprisoned. And Frank and I used to get together once every 6 weeks, and we would try to keep each other going morale wise, and we would brainstorm about what the next move was to make. Frank was ultimately exonerated by DNA a couple of years after me, doing 18 years. So we actually were two wrongfully convicted prisoners that were aware that we both believed in each other's innocence. And normally that doesn't happen in prison. I mean, if there's people that are wrongfully imprisoned, they're not aware of each other's innocence. It's just like a couple of ships passing in the night. But that was another aspect of it. Another thing was I found other ways to hold on. So I should have cut out pictures of nature scenes, and I would hang them up in the cell, and I would just travel there mentally. And used to listen to sports talk radio, but it was not listening to sports talk radio. This was like a lifeline to the outside. And I created
Mm.
this elaborate delusion for myself when I would play basketball or chess or ping pong, and I would pretend like I was a professional player, and so was everybody else. But it was not like kids fooling around on a playground. This was the internal defense mechanism. I needed to get out of the prison mentally, so I created that space for myself within my head. And similarly, in 1998, the prison where I spent most of the time at Elmira Correctional Facility, they allowed us to purchase televisions. So while my TV stayed off for the most part because I was doing legal work, I was writing letters, I was reading from, I was reading like 3 or 4 nonfiction books a week. So mostly my TV stayed off. But when it was turned on, there were certain weekly programs that I used to watch, and I again engaged in a delusion. So when I would watch those programs, I would pretend like if I was visiting with friends. So that was, and then you use euphemisms. It's not the prison warden; it's the superintendent. It's not the guards; it's the correction officers. And it's not that I'm going to this prison assignment in the morning and this prison assignment in the afternoon. I'm going to school or I'm going to work. So usage of euphemisms
Mm.
as well. So I would say that all of those things were factors, along with the idea that I knew that nobody was coming to my rescue, that no one that I knew already was coming to my rescue, so that I was going to have to go out and recruit somebody that could be that champion for me, that could build that bridge between me and the necessary legal professionals that I needed. And I had read about that in other wrongful conviction cases that ended with
Mm,
somebody being exonerated. I had read that that had happened. So,
mm,
uh, so I didn't have the luxury of losing my mind. That was yet another act of self-preservation. If I had lost my mind or allowed myself to go into a depression, then I was not going to be equipped to simultaneously reach out to people and try to get their help. And but not only did the letter writing campaign ultimately culminate into my getting that champion, which did lead to my getting the legal help, but another facet of that was in the last couple of years, one of the ads that I placed looking for a pen pal was responded to by somebody who had been a crime victim. His name was Scott Kiley. And in my ad looking for a pen pal, I referenced that I was innocent and that the DNA didn't match me. And he answered my ad. And so we corresponded for the last 2 years. So I feel like he kind of showed up in the nick of time because I was really at the end of my rope. I mean, I was openly asking this stranger
mm.
that I didn't know from anywhere, should I just give up? Should I quit? Should I just go ahead and commit suicide and be done? I'm never going to get out of here, and he helped keep me going.
Yeah.